Mary Silvernail.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everyone at the Lacy Elks, and thank you, all you guys who came out in the rain, okay, for this event today, because it's a nasty, nasty day, isn't it? But we're going to have some fun in here today. Okay, you ready for that? Yeah, everybody's ready for that. Okay. I'm Mary Silvernail. A lot of you might have already heard from me because my business, Hope Hypnosis, is just a couple of miles down Route 9 on Route 9 in Waretown. And I've had that business there for 20 years. I've been there. Hope Hypnosis and Holistic Center. I've helped thousands and thousands of people stop smoking. So if you know anybody who needs to stop smoking, I can help them. I'm a board certified clinical hypnotherapist, but I am, and a lot of other things, but my whole life I have been an astrologer. My father taught me astrology. My sister was an astrologer when she was here on this earth. My other sister, a numerologist. My mother, very much into plants and herbs. So my whole family is this way. So I just grew up like this. But besides being an astrologer, also, to use the word psychic, I'm highly psychic. So what happens is, even though I'm here today for this program to talk about astrology, and I have a lot of things to tell you that's coming up, but the thing is that also many times whenever I'm doing a live event, I feel things that come up around someone, maybe a loved one that has passed or something like that. So then from time to time, I will come to different members of the audience and say something that the message that needs to be given. My messages always come first through the angels. So there's nothing dark or negative about any of the energy that I work with. But what I am is I'm an esoteric astrologer. And for anyone who has never heard that term, what that means is I'm a soul astrologer. So yes, I'm an astrologer that looks at all your planets and when you were born and where you were born and all of that. And yes, I give you information about what's coming up in your life, good timing of it, etc. However, when I'm looking at your astrological chart, and this is what an astrological chart looks like. When I'm looking at your astrological chart with the date and time and place of your birth, what happens to me is I'm connecting with your soul, because to me that's a picture of your soul. By the way, if there's anyone that has their cell phones not on silent, I'd really appreciate that right now, okay? So the thing is that if you come to see me for a reading, which I do a lot of them right down the street, and you know, I mean, I do see some familiar faces in the crowd here. After all, I've been at that location a long time. So, but people also come from Philadelphia, New York. I mean, they come from all over. Plus, on top of that, I also do telephone readings. I have a very large client base that's out of state that I also do readings for. But the thing is, if you're coming to me for a reading, or if it's a telephone reading or Zoom or whatever, first thing I'm going to ask you is your date of birth, the place of birth, so that I have the longitude and latitude of exactly where all the planets and stars were when you were born. And I'm also going to be asking you your time of birth. And then this way, I can give you a lot more information. When I know your time of birth, then I do two of these charts. See, I put these charts up on my computer screen. This is an example of someone who was born on August the 1st, 1975. Now, for purposes of just showing you this, you know, her name is Jane Smith on here. But anyway, but this is all it looks like. Now let me explain what you're looking at here. This inner circle, can you all hear me?
Yes.
See, I have a big mouth. Really, I don't even need a microphone. Okay? She's going to put it down here. Okay. There we go. So now, this in the center here is where all the planets were when you were born, in this inner circle. The outer circle is where all the planets are right now as we speak, when I had created this chart. So when people come in to see me for a reading, they see me using my computer screen, and I'm looking at something on the screen. Many times, especially if it's your first time that you ever came to see me, I show you what I'm looking at so that you don't think I'm Googling you or something like that. I mean, believe me, if I don't think my clients would be coming back to me if I just Googled them, you know what I mean? But a lot of people come to me for the mediumship readings also, so, you know, that is a concern. There are charlatans out there, let's face facts, you know? I mean, some of the stories I've heard about that. But anyway, so this is what I look at. I also keep track of the chart of the United States of America. And my television show, actually Brian, back at the camera back there, that's Brian, and he's the director-producer of Astrology, Angels, and More. And we've been doing the show now, how long, Brian? 2, 3 years we're going on though, right? Yeah. So, and I've been doing TV for approximately 15 years. I've been a guest on other shows, but Brian had offered me to host my own show. Very interesting show, by the way. You can watch it on YouTube, Astrology, Angels, and More. Because it's shot in a studio in Staten Island on CTV, what happens is it's only aired in Staten Island, you know. So people that live in Staten Island get to see it on their TVs. But everything is downloaded onto YouTube, so any of my shows are out there. Astrology, Angels, and More. I think that you'd find it very interesting. It isn't just about astrology, it's also about angels. And then the More is every month we have a different guest talking about something different. Very interesting topics. But anyway, so I also keep a chart of the United States of America, especially, well actually I've been watching that chart since like the 1990s, because I saw what was coming up, and what was coming up is what we call the Pluto Return. I've done so many television shows and discussed this in reference to the Pluto Return. If you want to know what happened here, and I don't want to depress people because now, you know, we're coming up to some nice things that are shifting here for us that I'm going to go into. But the reason this happened, I mean, I was a guest on TV shows where they had asked me back in, oh my goodness, like 2015, to do a 10-year, 20-year projection astrologically. And what I was talking about is 2020, because that was the Pluto return. And what I mean by that, I'm going to show you the chart of the United States, okay? And it's the first time there was a Pluto return in the chart of the United States since July the 4th, 1776. And you know, that's the birth date of the United States of America. Now this is a small one, but you get the gist, okay? And this is where all the planets are right now as we speak. And what this is here, and I'll leave these charts out up here at the end, of the talk. And if you want to come up and look at them, feel free. Or take a picture of them, whatever you want. Okay? But down in here, which is the second house. Now, in astrology, it looks like a piece of pie, right? Like a big piece of pie. But you know what it is? Like with 12 pieces? Every single house, this is the first house, second house, third house, it goes all the way through 12 houses. Each house is a part of your life. That's how, as an astrologer, I know what area of your life is being affected. Or if you come to me and say, listen, I'm having a real problem in my marriage, or I'm having a problem with my boss, or should I change careers, or whatever, I'm going to be really studying that particular house. Well, in the House of the United States of America, for the first time in 248 years, what happened is that the planet Pluto came and hit the natal Pluto. Every single planet in the inner circle, like what I was showing you on the big chart, those are the natal planets, which means those were where the planets were when you were born, or when the United States of America was born, which was July 4th, 1776. Okay? So what happens is, all the other planets, like up in the heavens right now, what we're dealing with, you know, where Mercury's moving. Anybody in here ever hear of Mercury Retrograde?
Yep.
You hear of Mercury Retrograde? Huh?
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people, right? Guess what? It's direct. It's direct now. It just went direct 2 days ago, thank God. But anyway, right now in the heavens we had 6 planets, and then if you counted Chiron, you had 7 planets retrograde. So that's why things have been a little bit off kilter, you know. But they're all going direct, and I'll let you know when and how it will affect you. That's what I'm going to talk about here today too. But in reference to the United States, that Pluto, which if you ever have watched any of my shows or ever had a reading with me and you hear me talk about Pluto, what I always call it is the wrecking ball. It comes in and it knocks everything down. But then when it goes, that's when it goes retrograde, okay? Then it comes back and swings the other way and builds everything back up beautifully. Bottom line, 2015. On the TV show God's Way, Yahweh, filmed in Staten Island. I think Brian, you were, what were you doing? You were directing that show? Yeah. I had said that we were going to have issues in 2020, start getting a little bit better in 2022. This is long before, how did I know, right? I was just going by the planets. And in 2024, we're going to be okay. Now listen, this has nothing to do with politics, okay? Nothing to do with politics. I'm talking astrologically, okay? However, I can tell you this also. On that TV show, you know, they were really pushing me who was going to be president. And I did predict that on that show. So, yeah, I did. And because I go by the charts. I watch all important figures and countries in the world. I watch their charts. That's what I do as an astrologer. So I knew who would be elected. Just like I know who's going to be elected again. But we're not going to talk about that here today. But you see how things started easing with the pandemic. See, what happened was Pluto landed in our second house of money. Now tell me, huh? Come on. I know, I don't want to talk about it with the gas pump and everything. But the thing is, it has really affected us economically. And at the same time, I was looking at China's chart back in 2015, because like I said, I follow this stuff. And I had said that economically, China would benefit from what was happening economically in the United States in the year 2020. Now, go figure. I'm not going to get into all of that. Go figure, whatever your opinions are on that or whatever. Here I am to say, after 2024, guess what? we're going to be in such much better shape, it isn't funny. So I want you guys to take a deep breath and relax, because this is not getting worse and worse and worse and worse. We've been through the worst. And the reason I know that is because of the planet Pluto that I watch. And yes, I call it a planet. As an astrologer, I call Pluto a planet, even though they reclassified it. To me, it's a planet, okay? And boy, what it can do. But the reason that it caused such havoc wasn't just because of the Pluto return. It was like, oh my goodness, there were so many things at the same time. If you look on this chart, what you would see is up here, see all those little squigglies together? They're all together in that one little spot, right? That is called a stellium of planets, a grouping of planets in the sign of Cancer. That's the birth planet of the United States. Pluto was in Capricorn in opposition, and it hit like a wrecking ball all those planets. So that's what happened. I figured I'd get all of that part out of the way, okay, because I just want to let you know things are going to be much, 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 much better. The other thing is, what's that? You're glad you came? Oh, you're going to be even more glad. Okay, thank you. Thank you for saying. No, this is not wishful thinking. Ask my clients. This isn't wishful thinking, you know. And of course it's wishful thinking, and we should all pray, and we have to pray. And it isn't like, okay, look, to me, astrology, this astrological chart, okay, to me this is God's clock. Okay, this is God's clock. God is the one who is in charge of pulling the strings, moving the planets, right? I mean, really think about it. So ultimately, yes, God is the one in control, or the higher intelligence in the universe, whoever you believe, okay? Whatever you believe. And believe me, I don't, judge anybody in reference to that, but I happen to believe in God. And I believe that this is God's clock. And He's the one that when certain things are aligned a certain way, certain things happen to us in our lives. Look at the full moon, how you're affected by it, aren't you? Let me tell you, anyone in sales, they'll tell you, what they say is, oh, all the nuts come out on the full moon. You know what I'm talking about, right? But see now, I have been watching this since the 1990s because I knew that return would happen. I didn't know it was going to be a pandemic. All I knew is that, we were going to end up having like a real problem that was going to really affect us economically, and also that there would be a loss of life. So now, the thing is too, something else that I had been watching. Any of you guys remember in 2017 going out and buying those glasses so you could see the eclipse? August 2017. Think back. Do you remember it? How many people remember doing that? Going trying to see the eclipse? Yeah. Okay. That eclipse actually happened, let me see, I wrote that down, August 21st, 2017, total solar eclipse. This is the eclipse. This is the United States of America, okay? This is the United States, a map of the United States. In 2017, when we were all out there trying to see the eclipse, this is the path that it took over the United States, over our country. Now, what's going to happen is, April the 8th, and that's really, if you really want to know, that's really when things started cooking. That's when things started cooking up in 2017. And if you really look back and think about it, you'll see I'm correct. April the 8th, 2024, this will be the path of the next eclipse that will straighten all this out. 2024, okay? Look, that's why I'm saying things will get better. This is very unusual, what has happened here with the eclipses with the United States. You know, back in ancient times, eclipses, they caused war, they caused floods, they caused all kinds of things. So it's a tremendous amount of energy that comes and hits, and we had that hit, but we had it hit going one way. Now, remember the wrecking ball swinging back? So it's going to hit the other way now, and it's going to build up everything beautiful. You watch and see. You watch and see. 2024. 2024. Okay. So now, let me talk a little bit about, I have some notes here, especially about this month, that I think you guys would like to know. Oh, yeah. We were just talking about Pluto. Now today is April the 4th, 2022. Wow, on April,
October.
What?
October.
Did I say April?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. October. I'm sorry. It's all this energy in this room. Can I tell you something? When I was going around to the tables and I was handing out the flyers and things like that, I was already connecting with so many people in this room. I mean, what I'm talking about is on another level, okay? So there's things that, believe me, I need to say to some people. But anyway, so on October the 8th, and that's what I have. Look, I have it written on. Okay, Pluto stations direct. It's been retrograde. Since last April. And I want you guys to think back about April of this year. What was going on in your life in April of this year? It's another reason why I said April, because it's really connected to this Pluto on April the 8th when it's going to make its big turn. Whatever it was that you have been working on since April 2022, it's all coming into fruition, and you need to start finishing it up if you started any projects or a new relationship or anything like that, okay? But this is really, this is from my column, okay? This is excellent and of the utmost importance for the world, and especially for the USA. Because January the 12th, 2020 was the exact Pluto return from 248 years before, okay? My point is, what I was talking about, all those bad things, it's coming around good now. It's turning around. And then we have the next day on October the 9th. Any Aries in the room? Aries. Aries? Only a few? Oh, no, we have, okay. Well, this is your full moon, so anything at all that you've been working on or wanting to accomplish and bring to fulfillment for the past year, since last October, will come into fruition. This is a time for you to really wrap things up, okay? And it's a time to review whatever project or relationship started. Here we are again, April 2022. And hopefully it progressed as hoped. It carries with it some karmic wounds. See, this is something that's very important. You know, we all carry karma, and you know, everybody thinks karma's bad. There's good karma, there's bad karma. It's equal. Okay? It isn't like, you know, when they say karma's going to get you. Well, sometimes karma gets you good. Whatever you put out there is coming back to you. And that's bottom line. That's all we're talking about here. But there's a lot going on here with the energy this month that is balancing a lot of karma. And if you've noticed that in your life, I don't know, but perhaps maybe you will before month's end. Also, it's going to give people a lot of courage this month So if there's something that you didn't feel confident about, I'm talking about everybody, okay, not just Aries, but anything you didn't feel comfortable about, or something new that you wanted to try or do, or maybe apply for that job, or start that business, or do something new, or maybe tell the person that you've been caring about that you haven't told yet, okay, or something you need to say it this month, because it's really good timing, especially for balancing any old wounds, okay? And stop allowing any lack of confidence to stop you in life. Life is too short. It really is too short. So, you know, each day is precious. So if you're constantly saying, well, should I or shouldn't I, should I or shouldn't I, if you don't do anything, then you're making the decision not to do anything, so forget about it. How are you going to ever have the opportunity? You know, you can't wait till it comes to you. You have to go get it. So anyway, it's only a mental projection, you know, that lack of confidence. You know, everybody thinks that everybody else is looking at them and they're caring about whether or not their hair is out of place, or if maybe they have a scuffed shoe or something. Nobody cares. They're all into themselves. Tell me I'm not right. Okay? So, anyway, so you need to change your mental projection to success. And also, this is the month to forgive. Okay? If you're having anything like issues with family, friends, or something like that, that you keep festering and not letting go of, you know, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. It's going to end up helping you ultimately. And this would be, seriously, the month to do it. Now on November the 8th, here we go, we're going to have a lunar eclipse. How many Tauruses are in the room? Hello? Okay. Is that it? Only one Taurian? Two Taurians, really? Boy, I can't wait till I hit a sign that everybody knows what it is. I'm wondering, I mean, in case you don't know what sign you are, I'll tell you. Okay, so this is funny. Anyway, it's the Taurus lunar eclipse. This is a time, it's the full moon. And it's once a year Taurus gets to experience this. And it's really lucky for Taurians. Oh man, you know, any kind of an opportunity you've been waiting for. Time to play the lottery too, let me tell you. On a Taurus full moon, Taurus is money. Go play the lottery. Don't go nuts, but go play it, okay? And don't be doing these scratch-offs. You want to know why I tell people not to do scratch-offs? Because you're not putting your own energy into that ticket. You have to pick the numbers. You have to hold the ticket and have your energy in it. Not to be going and, give me a scratch off, you know, and then who knows what's in there. Somebody else's energy, right? You don't want that. So anyway, so that's a little secret, by the way. And the Taurus eclipse, great time about money. November the 23rd, we have the Sagittarius new moon. Wow, oh wow, this is the time to aim high. Okay, Sag, any Sages? 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're getting there. We're moving up from 2 to 4. Okay. Now let me tell you about Sagittarius. You know, I happen to love the sign Sagittarius. My daughter is a Sagittarius rising. I have a lot of Sagittarius friends. Sagittarians you can have a lot of fun with. Right, Sag? Yeah. They're very joyful, helpful people, and they believe in live and let live. And I gotta tell you, that's my philosophy. Live and let live, you know? We're all here on our own journey. But Sagittarius is the luckiest sign of the zodiac because the ruling planet is Jupiter, and Jupiter is the luckiest planet in the zodiac. So, boy, you Sagittarius, you're lucky. Very, 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 very lucky. I want to talk to the Sagittarians in the room, though. I want to tell you something. That right now, I feel that you have been dealing with a lot of things, a lot of looking back on your entire life and trying to figure out how that happened, and now how am I gonna fix that? Like you're doing a lot of that, a lot of retrospect, a lot of it. And it's very healthy, actually, because by the time you reach next year, you're gonna know exactly what direction to go in. Now, but the whole big thing about Sagittarius, listen, always aim high, always. Seriously, because you'll get it. Now, on December the 7th, Gemini, December 7th, I'm talking about the moon. Okay, Gemini, it's a Gemini full moon. Who here is a Gemini? Oh, there you go. There you go. See, now you've been very interactive here, I've noticed, right? Okay, what's your birthday? Not the year. Huh?
No, that's the full moon.
Oh, you're a May Gemini. Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot.
I like it too.
You know how to have fun too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you enjoy having fun.
I do.
Yeah, I know. So do you. Okay, but I feel you hold yourself back a little bit. What's your birthday? Oh, okay. Listen, two people can have the exact same birth date. And look, just like twins. Have you guys wondered about twins? How come they don't have the exact same life? Well, that's because one is born maybe 1 minute different, which can change a degree of the moon or whatever, okay? And so that's why, two different individuals, but, I can't help it. Are you married? Are you married? I kept feeling, I'm sorry, I don't want to upset anyone. I just felt, I kept feeling about your husband, sweetheart. How long ago did he pass?
It'll be in the year October.
There's a lot still that he has been saying to you. And you've been getting a lot of signs from him, haven't you?
Yeah.
A lot of them. Yeah, I feel it very, very strongly. Yeah, because when I connected over to you, the reason I asked you if you were married, because I kept hearing husband, 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 husband. This is what happens. I just get like one little part. And he loves you so much, sweetheart. Oh my gosh. He hasn't gone anywhere. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's here with you. I don't want to upset you. I don't want to go too deep into it, but very, very, very strong with you. Did you and he have a son together? You have any children?
3 daughters.
You have 3 daughters. Do you have a grandson?
I do.
Yeah, thank you.
Named after him.
Thank you, because that's who he's talking about. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, I just got chills. Yeah. And how old is your grandson, sweetheart?
11.
Yeah, good number. That's a good age. That's a good age, sweetheart. Yeah, yeah.
All our kids, my daughters were at my house last night, and a song come on, which I only hear when
Oh, yeah, he's giving me.
abracadabra.
Abracadabra. Well, abracadabra, yeah, he's magical. Let me ask you something. I have to ask you something because they come in different. Just tell me his birthday.
9354.
Oh, I don't need the year.
Oh.
When I ask birthdays, you don't have to give me a year. Okay, that's okay, because it's private for people. But, yeah, that's what, yeah. See, he works a lot with, he's very good at communicating, but he's very good with anything electrical. He's very good with any kind of electrical. Like, I don't know if you heard the static and things like that. You see, some of the souls, when they pass, they're very good with making themselves known by water or wind, you know, the elements. But he's electrical. It's like your lamps or your, these are signs from him. What a good man. Very particular man. Very particular. Oh, he looks so good. He's so cute. Hey, when you first met him, he was really young and hot, right? Hot. That's what we're talking about, 'cause that's who I'm seeing here right now. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Oh my God. I'm seeing a picture of the two of you when you were younger. Oh, beautiful picture. Beautiful couple. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Okay, we better move on. I could stay there for a long time. Believe me, I really could. I had to break it. So, yeah, where were we? Geminis. Okay. So, God bless you. This is a time to speak your truth. I'm talking about everybody in this room, okay? At the time of December 7th, and understand something, a moon, a new moon or a full moon, is not just on the date of. It's the energy is 3 days before, 3 days after, and the day of. So any of the things that I'm talking about apply to that week period of time. Just like Mercury just went direct, but guess what? We're still having a little bit of a shadow effect from Mercury retrograde. Tell me you haven't been feeling it. Probably been saying, hey, Mercury's direct. How come I didn't get that parking space? Or how come I missed that phone call or whatever? You're still in the shadow effects of it, but it's moving. But anyway, so it's a time though, especially around that period of time to speak your truth. Now here we go. December 23rd, and then this is the last one, and then I'm going to start talking about some other things. But I wanted to let you guys know when the moons are coming up. Because the moon, the new moon, and the full moon, very important times. Very important times. That energy, we're 75% water. You see how the tide is affected, right? So what do you think the moon's doing? We're 75% water. Okay, December 23rd, Capricorn new moon. Okay, Capricorn, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What Capricorn girl? Anybody else? Over here? No more? No Capricorns over here. Ooh. Okay. Well, Capricorns, you're very hard workers. Very hard workers. You all are. And you always have been, but it's time to really do something. Capricorns, listen to what I'm saying. You have all this energy where you want to help put it into action. That's the time, at the end of this year, going into 2023, that's the time for you to really get involved and help. Just like the lovely ladies were saying that they're looking for help here at the Elks to be able to help senior citizens and things like that. This is the time, especially going forward into 2023. But you Capricorns, the problem is, see, it's another rainy day. And what worries me about Capricorns is sometimes they get very depressed. Quietness. Okay. Now that could be a Capricorn rising or a Capricorn sun sign, but that happens from time to time. And don't think too much of it, Capricorns, because what ends up happening is you're able to pull yourself out of it by all your creative efforts through your work, okay? And if you're a Capricorn and you've retired and you just decided, oh, I'm gonna stay home and watch Wheel of Fortune, you gotta be getting out there, doing things, helping other people. That's what really needs to go on, because that's who you are. Seriously, that's who you are. Okay, so now, let's see, what else did I have here? Here we go. Okay, so also, we've had all these retrograde planets. Somebody's phone's ringing. Okay. Okay. When I was talking before about all these planets that are going direct now, okay, I said that there was a lot of them, not just Mercury. Okay, that was October 2nd. October 8th, the planet Pluto. I mentioned that too. However, Also, we are dealing with Saturn moving direct, the planet Saturn, and Saturn is the one that holds everything back. So if you've been feeling restricted in your life in any way, which, come on, you have, okay? If that is a feeling that you have, then after October 23rd, that's when things start moving ahead. All these planets being retrograde for so long, let me tell you something. This was the summer of preparation. Everybody was preparing for whatever they were going to do, you know, coming in the fall and the winter. So that's all that was. You know, that's all these retrograde planets really are. It's giving you an opportunity to get all your ducks in a row, straighten everything out so that you can move ahead. Can I talk to you? You.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Is it something good?
Yeah, I think so, honey. Okay. Just tell me your birthday. Just birthday.
January 8th.
Oh, there you go. It wasn't that easy at different points in your life, I know that. But there's a young woman that I see around you. I don't know if this is your, but I keep feeling like it's your daughter. Do you have no daughter?
My sister.
Your sister. When did she pass?
When did she go? 5 years
Yeah, yeah. I feel her very much with you. Very, 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 very much with you. That was your sister. I understand. I had 2 sisters that passed in a matter of 18 months. You know, so I understand. But she's very much with you. When you were, how many years apart? She's talking about when you guys were young. How many years apart?
20.
20. Yeah, but when you guys were young, so you're 20 years older than her, right? Yeah. Did you take care of her? Yeah. Yeah. That's what she's showing me, and that's why I was asking you about your daughter, honey, because that's what she was saying. That's how she viewed you, as, you know, like a second mother. You understand? Okay? And very much with you. Do you talk to her? Do you get something? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she's a very strong presence.
I asked that she would be here today.
Well, honey, she is. She's lovely. Absolutely lovely. And I don't know what this means, and perhaps it doesn't mean anything to you. And maybe within the next 2 years it may come up. But lilies, whatever, okay? I want you to remember that. Just remember that, okay? Because that came from the other side. I'm not exactly sure what it means. Let me tell you something. They give me all kinds of weird messages sometimes. But it isn't really weird because it ultimately ends up meaning something. And you think about that. I don't know if she had something that was maybe a painting with lilies on. I don't know. But it's something important about lilies. And it'll probably hit you later on down the road. I don't know, but that was important. That was important, okay? So, guys, let me tell you, oh my goodness gracious, so much over here. Where's that lady? Me? Yeah, okay.
Uh-oh.
Where's your mother? Well, it's very pretty lady, and she walked in today here with you too. How long ago she pass?
Right before COVID hit.
Are you in a relationship?
No.
Do you want to be? I will be. That's from her. Okay? She's working on it. You think, oh, yeah, okay. Giggle, giggle, giggle. I'm just telling you.
Okay. She's working on it.
She's working with Archangel Chamuel. Jackie Bell is the angel of Loon. She loves you. I know something. But she loves you. I know. I don't want to go into that. But anyway, yeah, she's helping you out with that. Don't worry. She's got it covered.
I'm gonna get a seatbelt.
And you will be in a very, very, very happy, loving relationship. You watch and see. Okay. So now, let's see. Anybody have any questions for me? That's so cool. What is this? Gorgeous, gorgeous. What's your birthday? Leo, should have known. Should have known. My goodness, that gorgeous dress. You were with a moon or a rising? Your moon is in Pisces. No? Okay. Can I tell you, I'm going to share something. I probably should. You have my granddaughter's birthday. And she has the Pisces. You're very psychic. It's in the blood. It's in the blood. And the other thing is that I wanted to talk to you about those dreams. Boy, those dreams you have. Oh my goodness. Right? Am I right? Okay. Yeah, you have prophetic dreaming. You actually can see the future through your dreams. If you're not writing those dreams down, you really should. And then they all happen. Thank you. Isn't it frustrating? Isn't it frustrating? See, and you also have my favorite color polish on too on your nails. There you go, baby. No, but also your father, is he still with us? When he would hug you, you yeah, God bless. Very fortunate, yes. Very, very fortunate. The thing is, though, with you, you go around helping everybody. Come on, right? Am I right? Okay. And you don't help yourself enough, seriously. And it's like as if you give your whole heart and soul. And then you're wondering, why aren't they reciprocated? You know, they're not you. And you feel everything. Feel everything. I know, sweetheart. It's not easy, really. You're a beautiful
I
lady.
want anything back. I just want the respect that I give. That's all I want.
Thank you. This is what I'm talking about.
Those days are way over.
Yeah,
They're way over. They're way over.
I know. But you know what? It's their lack. There it is. Any questions, anybody? Come on, somebody. Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
You talked about 2024. What do you see for 2023?
2023 is when we are reorganizing to the point that to get everything straight in 2024. And that's it. And you watch and see what I'm talking about. Now listen, I'm pretty brave to be talking about this in front of all these people, and you know where my office is, so you can all come and knock down my door, okay? But 2024, you watch and see. Yeah, you watch. I'm telling you, I've been looking at this for how many years now? 30 years? You know, so it's gonna happen. And that's why I also showed you guys this eclipse. Okay, this eclipse, these two eclipses, happen to be extremely, extremely important, these dates. You know, see what's happening is we're having a reset here on Earth. Humanity, we're having a reset. And a lot of people, huh?
I just said, oh, I hope so.
You hope so, right? Because I bet you any amount of money, you already, oh my gosh, Archangel Michael is right there with you. Do you believe in angels?
Yes, and I have Michael.
You do in your house?
Well, my son is Michael.
And your son is
And
mine.
my
Yeah,
other
Michael
son is
can.
Donald Michael.
Thank you.
And,
Michael's big with you.
And the angel.
Absolutely, who loves you? Oh my goodness.
Cousin with the character, and that's the
Yeah?
patrons
for police officers, firemen, and thank you. How long have we known each other?
Just now.
I know. That's not my ego. That's the angels. Archangel Michael was the one who came in and said, "Woo, tell her," you know. So anyway, the thing is, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, we're having a whole reset. Sorry, Michael interrupted here. We're having a whole reset. So a lot of you have found your spirituality, a tremendous amount of spirituality lately, I bet. A lot of you are kind of like, hey, you know, I feel different, I'm thinking different, I want more information on that, or I want more information, and you're like you're on your spiritual journeys, okay, bottom line. You're on your spiritual journeys, because this is what we're going through, a reset, and guess what? Whoever doesn't know it yet, we're already in the age of Aquarius. We're here. We're now. Do you see those lights blinking? Candy, did you blink those lights? Seriously? Blink those lights? No. Oh, okay. See, I told you. Okay. Look, this is just the way that it works. You know, this is just the way that it works. So this is all good stuff. But this lovely lady over here.
You said there were 12 houses, and I think the second house is money. What are they?
Second one. Oh, you want to know all the houses?
I
Here we
want to know
go.
what the houses are.
You asked for it.
Yep.
Okay. You asked for it. Who's
Not mine.
Somebody from the other side is calling somebody. Oh, obviously they're trying to hit you over the head and you're not answering. What?
I think it might be my sister's because I finally figured out when you're less beautiful.
It's okay.
So
But
she
you
might be
took
bringing
care of her. You took care of her. Just like my big sister. I had a big sister. Her name was Angel. That was her nickname. Her God-given name was Alice, but her nickname, family called her Angel, because she really was. And she was 10 years older than me. And guess what? Guess who took care of me? My sister, Angel. She was 10 years old. So yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want her to be mad at me because she's around here.
I know. Hey, did you ever notice that? Sometimes your phone rings, there's nobody there. And I'm not talking about your cell phone with these spam things. I'm talking about like a home phone. There's nobody there. Well, let me tell you something. My father, he passed in 1984. Before he passed, he used to call me every morning. Every morning. He'd wake me up. And he'd say, "Good morning, Mary." And, you know, tell me the weather and all of this, right? Well, do you know after he passed, every morning my phone was ringing. It was silent on the other end, though, but I knew it was him. My father, he passed away. I was very close with my father, too, like this lady over here. And let me tell you something. My father passed away in 1984, but he still says good morning to me and good night, because he saw how sad I was that I would pick up the phone and he wouldn't be there. So what he started doing was sending me messages in numbers, and that's what happened, and he's still doing it now. Now look at how many years later. Okay, so let's answer your question. What's your first name, sweet?
Marla.
Huh?
Marla.
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 Oh, what a pretty name. Okay, Marla. So, here is, and I'll show everybody, this is the first house. This one, I'm going to turn it all around. That one's the first house, okay? The first house is you personally. Your personality, who you are. When planets are in there when you're born, it indicates a lot about, well, the whole chart indicates your personality, but it indicates a lot about maybe the trials and tribulations you might also deal with in life, okay, or the good things. Then we have the second house. This is the second house. This is the second house, okay? The second house is the house of money. Money, 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 money. okay? And some people, oh boy, when I'm doing an astrological chart and I have a client and they were born with Jupiter in the house of money, I say, oh boy, they're lucky, 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 lucky. That means that they have money. And if they don't have money yet, they will when the other alignment of planets comes around to hit that. The third house is the house of communication, short trips. See, each house can be many things within it. But the third house is the house of communication, brothers and sisters, siblings. It's also the house, did you raise your hand? Okay, that's okay. It can also be the house of short trips, communication, a lot of writers, people who write for a living, and speakers, a lot of them had planets when they were born in the third house, which makes them good communicators. The fourth house is your home. See, all the houses go around this way, just like that, this way. So, the fourth house is your home, your property. And lots of times when somebody's telling me, I don't know whether I'm really going to move or not, or is my house going to sell? When is my house going to sell? Okay, what I'm really looking at is the fourth house tremendously strong, okay? The fifth house, planet of love. It's the planet of love and creativity. Creativity. The sixth house, which is right over here, and you can see this person's chart has a lot of planets in that fifth house of love. Lucky, lucky, lucky James Beth. Okay. Sixth house, oh, and by the way, the fifth house is also the house of children. Many times there's indications in the fifth house when the planets are transiting through whether or not a person is going to have a baby. Usually that's where it shows up. Sixth house, house of health and your work environment. Not your career, your work environment, where you go every day for work. And also your health. When you're having health issues, it's the sixth house. Seventh house, marriage. Now, as a professional astrologer, this is what I do. You know, people come and they talk to me about, I want to meet my soulmate. I want my twin flame, okay? There's a lot of soulmates. Even your little dog could be a soulmate, okay? A good friend can be a soulmate, but you only get one twin flame, okay? But the indication, and there's a lot that's involved with having to figure out who your twin flame is. Anybody ever hear the term twin flame? No. Yes, see, some people have. Oh, do you want to know what it is?
No.
Okay. When God, and look, if I'm offending anybody in here because this is my belief, okay, I hope not. But this is what I truly, truly, and I've studied metaphysics my entire life, this is what I truly feel a twin flame is. When God created the universe, He created the universe with a big bang, a big burst, the initial big bang. All those atoms went flying out there in outer space. In each one of those atoms was a feminine and masculine energy. She's shaking her head. Thank you, thank you. Yin, yang, okay? The atoms split. A-T-O-M, okay, not A-D-A-M. And there's a lot of people that analyze that a lot, boy, you know, in the metaphysical world. So, the atoms split, and what happened was, yin went one way, yang went the other way, and then they started having lifetimes, okay? And they had lifetime after lifetime, but every once in a while, they'd end up in the same lifetime together again. And that's your twin flame, your soul mate, but not soulmate, your twin flame, because you can only have one. Your soul coming back together, completion, yin, yang, okay? So that only happens once in many lifetimes. That isn't something that happens in every incarnation. By the way, I do a lot of past life regression because I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm board certified. And I do a lot of past life regressions for people. And it's absolutely amazing, the information that comes up,
I have
especially
a
in reference
question.
to
I have a question, one
Sure,
question.
go ahead.
With that hypnosis and that regression that you're talking about, is the person aware of what's going on? Or are they in such a hypnotic state that they're
You're
not,
aware of everything.
they're aware of everything?
Everything. You're not knocked out. You don't quack like a duck when you come to see me. Whether you come for smoking or you come for a phobia, I help a lot of people with phobias. And a lot of phobias are actually rooted in past lives. So we do regression and everything first with a phobia. But then if we can't get to the root of it, the origin of the problem, then what I do is suggest they have a past life regression. And excuse me, part of why I'm a hypnotist today is because I had a terrible phobia when this was, you know, I grew up with a phobia. And then I had met this hypnotist. He was absolutely wonderful. He was a professor up in Morris County College up there. And anyway, so I've had 22 documented past lives. Documented. I'm talking about where you go back and you do the research. Everything that came out, you're shaking your head. You know what I'm talking about. Listen, a lot of people come to me for a past life regression, and what ends up happening is they get the name of who they were, where they were, when, etc., 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 and then they go and do research and they find out it's real. It's not your imagination. I mean, there's pathways in your brain that have just been asleep right now. You know, and a past life regression awakens them. It also helps a lot of people with love issues, phobias, all kinds of issues, especially relationship issues. Yes? You were going to say something.
No, I'm listening to what you're saying.
All right. Sorry, see how I get off on these rabbit trails? But anyway, so you only have one twin flame, okay? But but you can have a lot of different soulmates because we have a soul group, and every time we reincarnate back to our soul group because we miss each other. You know, we wanna be together. But that's what a twin flame is. The original split of your own soul. So can you imagine when you get back together again? Oh my gosh. So anyway, now the 8th house, huh? What? I am, honey. No, you shouldn't have just said that to me and not expect me to come over and talk to you. Okay? What is that around your neck?
This is an L2. That was my father. We don't do this anymore.
You shouldn't let people touch that. There's a lot of good energy here. Don't let people just come up to you and touch it. If they do, then put your hand around it and bless it yourself. Blow your prana in it again. See what I'm saying? I'm really serious. Yeah, because you don't want other people's energy in it. But so what do you mean? You're looking for love?
Twin flame.
Twin flame. Anybody ever come close in your life?
Not really.
No, never quite ended up. You're not a Libra, are you?
Sorry.
Are you Libra? I was close, wasn't I? Are you born in October? November. I was close there, yeah. Because Libra's right before. Yeah. Oh, honey. Scorpio. There's something in your life you have not let go of that you need to let go of, that you have not forgiven. And you need to forgive, you need to let that go. That's got to open up your heart chakra to make room to bring that love in. I'm telling you. You know I'm right, huh? You're in agreement? Okay. So, anyway, so I'm giving you very good advice. I'm not telling anybody. I'm giving you...
Say next time. Shut up.
No, don't say that. Look, you want to know how to bring love into your life and your twin flame? Archangel Shamuel. Do you really? You know Shamuel. How many people have heard of Shamuel? Not too many, right? That's the angel of love. Angel of love. Huh? Yes. Yes. Raphael, the healer. Yes. I'm doing an event in the library in downtown Toms River. They have a nice big room. I used to do it there before. I mean, a really big room. And I'm doing it on angels. I'm gonna be bringing all my angels. Yeah. You would like to, that's in April. Okay, April 23rd, I think. But, you would like, if you like the angels, spiritual training. Oh, you've never been to my office. Anybody who's ever been to my office knows that in my office there's angels everywhere. Everywhere. That's who I worked with, the angels. And I have to finish this. Yep. 20 years. 20 years. Same location. 465 Route 9.
14 and a half years ago.
You came to me? Did you now? So that's when I was in Unity all the way down in the end. Now I'm in A and B, because now I have, I have Spiritual Journey, my metaphysical gift shop, which is also going online, but right now the hours are only 9 to 12, Monday through Friday. Right now you can come in and see the angels and everything in there, crystals, stuff like that. So I'm right there. But anyway, so yeah, you came to me, huh? What did you come for, hypnosis or a reading?
What was that?
A reading or hypnosis?
No, a reading, and you told me something that came true.
Oh, I hope so. I don't know. I hope so.
It wasn't good.
I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm really pretty careful. If I felt I needed to say something to you, I would. But usually in my readings, I don't like to give bad information. You know, I'm talking about, like, if I see something really foreboding coming up, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to scare the crap out of people. And you know what I mean? I don't do that. But anyway, so we got to finish. Yeah?
One real quick, if they want to know anything, would you tell them?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I want to know.
Yeah. The only thing I do not predict is death. I can skirt around it, but I don't predict death of a loved one, or, you know, unless I see something really foreboding and dangerous that you need a warning about, you know, but that's it. But I stay away from anything negative. I'm a very positive person. So there we go. Okay. So, the 7th house is marriage and partnership. I have a lot of my clients who come to me for astrology that are business people. A lot of business people. And when they decide that they want to go into business with somebody, of course they're giving me the birth information of the person, et cetera, et cetera. Then they're asking me for the timing of when to open the business, because businesses also have an astrological chart. The table, when it was built, that has an astrological chart, if you wanted to look at it, you know. But as far as partnership goes and marriage, that's the 7th house right here, okay, right here. So now then the 8th house we're up to. The 8th house is the house of government money. You owe money to the IRS. It's going to show up in your 8th house, okay? But if you're going to hit the lottery or some other kind of government money that's going to come your way, it'll show up there too. So there's all good and there's all bad. It's also, unfortunately, the house of death. Lots of times when somebody's getting ready to pass, it will show up there. And it's also the house of sex and passion, okay? So now, then we have the 9th house, higher spirituality. And that's what's been happening here in our world lately, because the collective consciousness is finally coming together. Instead of all the individual consciousness going, we're all finally getting together, you know? Remember that song, we're finally getting together, da, 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 da. I think it's so beautiful. Yeah.
People are trying to
That's my mind. So anyway, so the 9th house is higher spirituality and legal issues. Anything legal. People come to me, when am I going to get paid from that lawsuit? When am I getting my settlement? Well, guess what? I'm looking in the 9th house. 10th house, which is the midheaven of the chart here. okay? Your midheaven is very, very important. It's your standing in the world. It's what ultimately you should be doing as a living. Trying to find your purpose in life, or, you know, what career should I really decide on? It shows right up here in your midheaven, that's what it's called, and your 10th house. Am I going to get a promotion? It shows up there. Then we have the 11th house, okay? The 11th house is friends, organizations, all you guys that belong to the Elks, okay? It's about that. Then we have the 12th house. Yes, now the 12th house is your previous life. A lot of karma you brought in from your previous life. Actually, the 8th and the 12th houses have to do with the karma that you have brought in from your previous lifetime and what you need to work on in this lifetime, because that's what we're all doing. We're all trying to work on all our karma we've collected, good and bad, and make it all balance so that eventually we can ascend. And that's what this is about. We're getting closer and closer to ascension, especially the age of Aquarius. Okay, so any questions? Yeah?
When you do a hypnosis,
Yeah.
can you go over somebody's previous life for that?
Yeah, past life regression.
So you can do that through hypnosis?
Yes, that's exactly what I
Not through
do.
cards, or you just see.
Number one, everybody, I'm not a tarot card reader. I don't do cards, I don't do tea leaves, I don't read palms, although I know how. I don't do any of that. I'm a professional astrologer, and when I put up an astrological chart, like what I was just holding up for you, and even just to look at that, it literally speaks to me. You know, it sounds crazy. Not all astrologers are esoteric astrologers. Actually, I've only met 2 in my life. And actually, I miss them very dearly. The thing is that it's different. So no, I don't read cards and all that. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't find it necessary. And a lot of my readings, by the way, I don't know if you can tell, when I was going through here, cold, you know, I don't even need a person's astrological chart. This is what ends up happening to me. I just feel certain things, you know, and the communication is there. Thanks, Brian. Yes?
2 things. Can you tell us about Cancer? Either I didn't hear it or wasn't listening. And the other, what does it mean to be on the cusp, and how do you figure out?
Okay. When you're on the cusp, well, here it is. Okay. By the time of your birth and the date of your birth and the place of your birth, that shows where all the planets are, where the sun was, okay, when you were born. Now, that's a very good question. So, if a person is born, say, February 19th, okay, they're on the cusp, they're a Piscean, but they're on the cusp of Aquarius. When the signs change, when the sun is moving into, when it's really close in the heavens to the next zodiac sign. So that means there are influences from both signs. Also, it's very important, especially if you know your time of birth, you should tell an astrologer your time of birth, because then I can see, okay, what your rising sign is. Your rising sign is your persona. Anyone in this room who knows the rising sign, I suggest very strongly that when you're reading your horoscope, first you read your rising sign, then you read your sun sign, and put them both together, okay? The moon rules your emotions. Wherever the moon was when you were born, it also rules psychic ability, etc., and your mother, and any of your issues with your mother. You know, each planet rules something else. Saturn is your father. Venus is love. Mercury is your mind and your communications. Jupiter is your luck and expansion, tremendous abilities. And each sign that you are have different qualities, as you guys know. Now, you said Cancer. Well, one of the things I was going to bring up before we wrap this up, and I don't have a clock, so I don't even know how long we're talking, but Cancer and Capricorns. Who else is Cancer in this room? Wow.
Cancer and Capricorn.
What do you mean?
One, my rising sign,
What's your rising sign?
Capricorn,
Very
going
good.
Cancer.
Okay, but you're a Cancer sun sign. Oh, boy. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so no, that's all right. Let me tell you something. You're very spiritual, and you don't even realize what you're doing. Do you know you're like a traffic cop? You don't even know. That's just on a subconscious level. You know, when souls are leaving this earth, they're looking for the light. There are what we call gatekeepers on the earth that direct the souls out and direct the souls in. Some gatekeepers only direct in or out. And not everyone is a gatekeeper. You're directing both ways. You're out there directing, doing all that, dance with the traffic cop. That's you. Yeah. But anyway, Cancer. Okay. Cancerians. Their home is very, very important to them. They hold on to their emotions very deeply. I have a lot of women that when they come and tell me that, oh, I'm in love with this Cancerian, but I just don't understand. He's so quiet. I can't get anything out of him. I can't figure out, how does he feel? How does he really feel? Because Cancerians are very deep, very good, loving, deep people. Feel everything so deeply emotionally. Their home, their family, everything is so important. What about your mom, honey? Did she pass?
Yeah, she passed in 1980. She was only 65.
That's kind of young, you know? I'm sorry about that. I'm very, very sorry about that.
She had a heart this big.
I know,
She gave
sweetheart.
everything away to her family. She welcomed her whole family into her home.
Yeah.
She
Sometimes a Cancerian can be afflicted. Sometimes your sun sign can be afflicted. Because lots of times people say, well, you know, I'm an Aries, but boy, am I tired all the time. I'm supposed to have all this energy, but boy, am I tired all the time. Well, maybe there's an aspect. Are you Aries? Cancer, okay. What happens is sometimes your sun sign or other planets are afflicted. Afflicted doesn't mean anything bad. Most people have something or another afflicted. It just means the aspect, maybe there's an opposition to another planet or something like that. But what, you know, you make people feel very, I'm talking to the lady back there in the pen, okay? You make people, I'm sorry, I don't remember your first name, but we talked before. Gloria. Yeah, thank you, Gloria. You make people feel so at home. You know, the job you're doing is amazing because you know how to bring people together. And I don't know what you had done earlier on as a living, but I just see, you know, you're someone, I gotta tell you, at some point in your life, did you work politically or something like that? Did you do for a large organization?
I was an educational assistant superintendent.
There you go, a lot of people. You work with, that's what you do. I'm telling you, that was your sole purpose in this lifetime, to bring people together. Okay, seriously, very serious. So, anybody else have a question? Or whose sign didn't I say? And we could talk a little bit. Virgo, where's the Virgo? I want to know where the Virgos are. Sorry, I gotta find these Virgos. Virgo, any other Virgo? Okay, so Virgo, we got 1, 2. Okay, stop being so darn hard on yourselves. Okay, you gotta cut yourself. You know, you really do. This is what goes on with you guys. You know it. And let me tell you something. Any Virgos and Geminis, you better watch because 3-4 times a year, Mercury goes retrograde, and it affects you because Mercury is your ruler. So you have to, not that anything bad is going to happen to you, but just it affects you more. Like with miscommunications, don't be planning a vacation around Mercury retrograde and stuff like that. Okay. Lovely Leo. Leo. Well, I was talking to that Leo down there over there with that pretty necklace, you know. And Leos have the big heart, but Leos are they can be very courageous. but Leos can also be sometimes, don't get upset, sometimes a bit dramatic. Okay. And also Leos can be very creative, artistic, things like that. They rule the arts and music. But Leo, my daughter's a Leo, my granddaughter's a Leo. Believe me, I know all about Leos. Okay? But they don't like to admit when they're wrong.
Oh, never.
Yes, sir.
October 20th on the cusp.
You're right on the cusp. Yeah. So, is that your wife right there with you?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys always do a lot of things together, huh? Not just because you're husband and wife, but you really gel well together. I can see that. Nice, nice, nice. I have to ask you, was she your first wife?
No.
Uh-huh. How many times have you been married? You guys been married?
Twice.
You guys have been married twice?
I have been.
Well, this is our second marriage.
Yeah.
He was married, I'm the third wife.
That's why I asked.
But we're married
That's what brought it up.
23 years.
23 years. God bless. God bless. What sign are you?
Pisces.
Oh, good. There you go.
So tell us about Pisces.
Oh my God, any other Pisces there? We got a Pisces back there. Okay, I see you. Okay, beautiful Pisces. Pisces are so sensitive, but boy, you gotta watch yourself. You should be surrounding yourself with the white light all the time because you're soaking everything up. I suggest very strongly, Pisces, that you carry, I'm serious, Brian will probably laugh when he hears me say this. You need some onyx, okay? Get some onyx in your pocket. The reason is that's going to soak up all that negative energy. Oh my goodness, the psychic vampires come out looking for you, okay? What happens is, honey, you soak everything up. You can feel everything. You're empathic, extremely empathic. And as I was talking to this lovely lady over here who has a Pisces moon, what we were talking about before is in reference to your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. Very, 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 very important. Pisceans had been going through a really rough time for a while, for a few years. And also Cancer and Capricorn. I'm very aware of that. Now, we were talking about Virgo. I want to just get back to Virgo, okay? Because in reference to Virgo, I really want you to try to make a pact with yourself that like every morning when you wake up, you find something extremely positive in reference to yourself and in reference to what you're going to do for the day. It's very, very important. But Virgos, oh my gosh, they're the ones that help everybody, take care of everybody. How can I be of assistance? What can I do? They make fabulous friends. So do Tauruses. Tauruses are extremely loyal. Stubborn, but loyal. Okay? Okay. Any other sign I didn't get?
Libra. Scorpio.
Libra.
Aquarius. Who wants to know about Aquarius?
Libra. I'm surrounded by them.
Aquarius. One person. We are. All right. What day? When were you born? Birthday. What day were you born?
I haven't heard what she said.
February 8th. Two Februarys. You're not. Do we have any other Aquarian?
Aquarius.
Okay. Okay. Ah, back there. What about you? What's your birthday? February 10th. Another
That's my mom, and I'm a Libra.
Oh, okay. Look, this is the thing. When we're talking about Aquarius, I love Aquarius, let me tell you. My father was an Aquarian. And you guys are way ahead of yourselves, okay? Way ahead of yourselves. You know, you're the ones who already are, like, you know, usually they're the ones that have the new technology all the time, or thinking far ahead, planning far ahead. The problem is, though, when things get to be a little bit too much, you kind of like disassociate yourselves. You can go in and you have to regroup, okay? Especially Aquarians do that. And that's important, that you get that, and you're able to do that. Very, very important that you take the time to regroup yourself, and then you're better than ever before, okay? But Aquarians are ahead of us all. They're ahead of us all. So, but the thing is, sometimes our loved ones, if you're an Aquarius, can complain that, or if you're married to an Aquarian, okay, or in a relationship with an Aquarian, that you feel as though, you know, sometimes they just disassociate themselves. Okay, they're very good at doing that. That's not a detriment. That's actually an asset that Aquarians have, because they reset. So, what did I miss?
Libra.
No, I was talking to that gentleman over there too, you know, about that. So, Libra. Well, the whole thing is, in reference to Libra, the biggest thing is they can never make up their minds. No offense, okay? Appreciate beauty in everything. A Libra can find beauty in anything. Their houses are usually decorated like so beautiful and all that, right? I bet you. But, yeah, but the problem is, you know, it cracks me up. I know a couple, there's two Libras married, okay? They cannot figure out where they want to go to dinner, which store. Oh, it cracks me up. Imagine two Libras married, okay? But anyway, is there anything else?
Scorpions.
Scorpios.
Oh. Hey, Brian. Okay, Scorpios, you are the most determined of them all, of the zodiac. And you are pragmatic, I think that's the right word, because when you get your mind set on something, where's the other Scorpio we were saying, talking to? There we go, right? You get your mind set on something, you don't stop till it gets done. And that's a wonderful thing. Very protective of the ones you love. Oh my goodness. I mean, literally you would take a bullet. And that's the truth. You would stand in front of them and take that bullet. And that's the truth. And also many Scorpions are very psychic people. Very, very psychic people. But very determined. And the whole thing is, Scorpio, everybody's always coming to you guys for advice. They all want to know. And there you are. And you give them great advice. You set them on the right track. And then what ends up happening is you don't follow your own advice. That's right. Okay? Tell me I'm not right.
You're right.
That's right.
Anybody else? What sign did I miss? What?
Tell us about signs that are compatible.
Oh, okay. Here it is. Now, you know how, here we go. So now, you know how, that's a good question. What you read about, or what you hear about is, you know, like Taurus and Virgo and Pisces, they're all compatible, right, together. I'm just giving you an example, because you're only going by the sun sign. You have to look at compatibility of all the planets. You know, you have to look at compatibility of all the planets. And you know that old adage, opposites attract? They really do, especially if there's good aspects with Venus or the moon. And here's another thing I'm going to leave you with, that men, whatever sun sign they are, they're attracted to a woman that has that moon sign. Sometimes it's vice versa, okay? Maybe it's the woman, you know, and that's attracted to, but the moon and the sun usually go together pretty well for a man and a woman. Usually that works out well. But you gotta look at all the planets, see? That's the whole thing. You can't just go by a sun sign. You can't. You know, I mean, because they would say that a Scorpio and a Taurus would not get along. They shouldn't marry each other because they're opposite signs of the zodiac. You know, they're on two different signs, two different areas of the heavens, of the universe. But the truth of the matter is, many times those are the ones that make the best partners because they contribute to one another. Anything else?
Another thing that signs people don't realize is a negative and positive every sign.
Yeah,
The negative-
absolutely, because every personality.
Can't be,
Every personality.
The negative vibe, I feel your childhood delegates who you are later on for everything. And
There's
you
a
also
lot
pick out
about
that
that.
sign on the negativity or the positive.
And
That's
also,
my finding.
no, you're right, and you're right about that. And also the order of your birth. What child were you? Seriously. I mean, there was a whole book written about that by an astrologer, about the order of your birth also. What is your question, sir?
What is the moon sign? I haven't heard that.
Oh, okay, well, that's important, because when you're born, the sun, say you were born today, okay? Say a baby born right now. That baby would be born with, it being a Libra sun sign. But the moon, I believe, is still in Capricorn, or it's in Aquarius. It might have moved. I have to look and see. That would be their moon sign.
Is that the opposite side of the astrological chart? Is that what you're saying?
How do you find that?
How you find that is it's called an ephemeris. It's a big, thick book. And in there, astrologically, it has all the, see, I go by the degrees of the planets and everything. What it is, it tells you the degree and where the planets move and when the planets move, and that's how you find out. But an astrologer, I do, what I practice is Greek astrology. There's also Hindu astrology. I practice Greek astrology. And just like I showed you in that chart, the squigglies, those are glyphs. That's the language of astrology. The ephemeris is written in glyphs. You have to be an astrologer to be able to read the ephemeris. Do you understand what I'm saying? And what we do is we keep track of where all the planets are on a given date and time and place. So there's a lot. Let me tell you something. When I was first practicing astrology, it would take me minimum half an hour, and that's a learned astrologer, minimum half an hour to put together the math to create a person's astrological chart. That's why I was so grateful when they had computer programs that came out that created the astrological chart for me, because there's a lot of math involved. If you're going to sit down and just, you obviously you know that. So it's very time consuming. But the computer program, I just put in the date, the time, longitude, latitude, boom, I get an astrological chart like that. Okay, guys, I think we need to wrap it up. And this was absolutely many bright blessings, angelic blessings. 2023 is going to be great. 2024 is going to be better. Okay.